One, two, three, four, five. And we are back with the TMCJ podcast. We are now on episode 16. Yeah, going strong.
Yep, we are now legal age to drink.
In the UK, in the US, we're still 5 years away.
This is true.
Oh my
yes,
God.
go.
Yes, so before the podcast, I was talking about how I, literally had nothing for topics.
Wait, no, you can't drink at 16 in the UK. You can only drink at 18. Ignore me.
Really? I thought you could at 16. Maybe I'm thinking
No,
of, mainland Europe.
You can. Oh, I'm totally losing the plot. It's
I
some
thought
kind
it was
of driving license.
Yeah, I thought 16. I thought 16 in the UK you could order beer at a restaurant, for instance.
Your parents could order beer for you.
Okay, that barely counts because you can do that in some places in the US too.
Yeah.
We're like 2 minutes in. We're already on a tangent.
I was thinking about the age of consent actually, not drinking.
Okay, that's actually the same in the US too, I think.
Yeah.
Unless you're ridiculously older than the other person by 5 years, in which case it's 18.
Right. Okay. I didn't know that. Maybe that is a thing over here. I'm not sure.
It's different from state to state, just like our drinking law. We have
Yeah, I know that you have different state laws, don't you?
Yeah. So on a federal level, drinking age it's 21 to buy. You have to have the U.S. is kind of a weird history with drinking because of prohibition. When the way the 21 law got put into place is sometime in the mid 1900s. One or another president decided that every state needed to put in place a 21 plus drinking law of some kind, and otherwise they would withhold federal funds to build highways.
Gotcha.
And so most states put in place, okay, you can't go to a liquor store and buy booze until you're 21. But
yeah. I heard there was actually a place in America that's been recently said that was it they were outlawing they made all drugs legal.
All drugs legal. Well, it may not be legal. They may be decriminalizing them. That's a very different thing.
It, actually.
Decriminalizing a drug is what Portugal did. They didn't make them legal. They just made it a civil offense if you are so you won't go to prison for using drugs, but you might have to pay a fine, for instance.
Okay, but yeah, so they were saying how it's going to be a hotspot now for everyone in America. They're like, oh damn, we could either arrest you or we could give you a plane ticket to go to this other place where you can do this legally and just get out of our country.
I mean,
county.
That's what California did with homeless people.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if it works for that country that fucking hell, I keep saying country. If it works for that state that everyone's getting sent to, then I guess it's a win-win.
Yes.
I wouldn't want to live in that state, but
well,
if they're happy with it.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's the people said the same thing was going to happen in Colorado when they legalized pot there, and it didn't. So, I think it just depends on if the state is going to handle it intelligently or not.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, also, half of America said they'd be emigrating to Canada when Trump initially got elected, but
no one did. Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, Canada doesn't want you either.
Well,
anyway.
Yeah, sorry. This is
actually
already.
Honestly, this random spontaneity is a better topic even than I think I had planned. I am curious though. Do you know what state it was?
Not off the top of my head. No. This is a video I watched several days ago.
Okay. In that case, so yeah, I had very bad ideas for topics this morning. I was like, there's a new Assassin's Creed game that came out. I wrote down candles because...
Oh, is this Valhalla?
Yeah, it did. But I don't really want to talk about it.
Why? Because we're going to talk about Vikings in the second segment.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to overload people with Vikings today.
Yeah,
but, I mean, the only thing I'll say about it is I'm kind of just sick to death of the Assassin's Creed series. They had some really good ideas, and it was cool in the beginning, and then...
Yeah. You never played the 2 games, though, did you?
No, I did the Ezio series.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, they released the Ezio collection on the Xbox One, and I played through them all then.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
just thinking of someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were great. Black Flag was great. Everything else you can miss.
Oh yeah, Assassin's Creed Black Flag was amazing. Also known as,
Yeah,
this isn't really an Assassin's Creed game. This is, let's have a happy pirate fun time.
and they were right.
Yeah.
I did have a happy pirate fun time.
The ship combat in that, and the outfitting your galleon, doing the sea battles and everything, exploring random islands. It honestly, it was fun until you had to go back on land and play Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so the topic that I wrote down, that I thought was actually a really good one that we could talk about for a while, is stupid technology.
Okay.
Like, and I'm
Like
gonna go.
software or hardware?
So the thing I think of whenever I say stupid technology is smartwatches. I
Okay.
I think they are the most idiotic piece of technology that I have yet seen. So basically, you've got a phone in your pocket still with a screen that you can use and do whatever you want on it, but instead you're going to strap a minuscule screen to your wrist that you've then got to fat finger and type on thing. I imagine with it's a piece of technology that most people could probably use and figure out, but you look like an idiot using it, and it doesn't seem to help all that much with anything. Like, it's
Yeah,
just, instead of being able to put your phone in your pocket and no longer get distracted, now you've strapped your distraction to your wrist.
So, I've known a couple of people that have these things, and one of the people is quite a busy person.
Yeah.
And so, whenever he gets a work message, his wrist starts beeping.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you stop, you tell notifications, okay, I've seen them, is that you, palm slap your watch, right?
So it looks like he's swatting
So
a fly.
Yeah, so they're just sitting at a table drinking or something, having a chat, and then he'll just smack his wrist. I just maxed the mic, hit myself. It looks really weird and it's really distracting.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, that's just their big thing is generally fitness. They're oh, it's on your wrist, so we can tell your heartbeat monitor. We can tell you it's a pedometer. We can tell you how many steps you've gone. All this other bollocks that you can also get on a phone.
Yeah, all these things that were completely irrelevant for you to track, you can now track them. Do you want to be it's like, oh, I have high stress, so I need to monitor my heart rate. Oh, now I'm going to be really stressed because I'm monitoring my heart rate all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, to see how far, let's say I've gone, if I'm going for a run, if I've gone further than normal. That's great, I enjoy that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's completely unnecessary for actually being fit.
Yeah, it's like what's another example? It's a cool gadget, right?
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people like it because it looks like, if you go back to the 80s and 90s, it's what people imagine detectives of the future were gonna have, and people from the future were gonna have these wrist devices. It looks like something out of Star Trek, and so
it's very trendy.
Yeah. And it's just not that useful, and I'm sorry, you look like a dumbass using the damn thing.
I suppose pros though. I'm assuming they're all super waterproofed. So I'm guessing even if you're swimming or something, you can just have it.
Not all of them. The newest ones are. I have a coworker that got an Apple Watch, and it's the brand new one that is waterproof. So they make them waterproof. I don't know for a fact if all of them are.
Yeah. So for extreme sports, like I said, swimming, skiing, mountain climbing, that kind of thing, you don't want to be fumbling around with an iPhone when you're halfway up a cliff face.
Yeah.
So I get that is good for them, but
if your phone isn't waterproof, you still have to have your phone in your pocket to use the damn thing. So if your phone isn't waterproof, the waterproof watch is pointless.
Wait, you've got to have your phone near it for it to work.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't know if it's near it. So if you're in the pool, say, I think you could have your phone sitting on a lawn chair or something while you're swimming with it. But
right.
that again. Okay, I'm gonna think of pros. I just try to be
Yes, I'm
positive.
trying to do because we were just being super negative.
So one pro that I can think of. You mentioned your friend. He has it so that work emails and stuff will pop up on it. And okay,
Yeah.
fine. If you don't want to dig your phone into the pocket to see if it's something you need to address now or can wait on, if you're super busy, then okay, I can see that. You look at your wrist. You're like, oh look, an email. Boop, boop. You can. It's like it's either it's relevant and I have to pull out my phone and address it, or it's not that relevant and I can go back to I don't know hiking Mount Everest or whatever the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
But besides that, like, I can't think of a single reason that a normal person would need one, other than to look cool, like a trendy thing. But I guess there's a lot of.
I mean, it makes more sense than like a 200-pound pair of shoes that just looks cool, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's not. Watches for me are an aesthetic thing.
Oh yeah.
And they are not. I don't like modern aesthetic for watches. I like the old. I like cogs and gears that you can see. I like an antique look to them, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
you should. The watch I literally have sitting next to me right now. It's like an old one, very simple watch face, 3 hands, and it's got the little tiny dials in the middle to tell you like what day it is. And
because watches basically became obsolete about 10 years ago.
yeah, when everyone started carrying cell phones, then watches.
Smartphones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they became a lot. Even not even smartphones. When people started carrying flip phones, they became irrelevant.
Yeah. Yeah, like the old fucking Nokia brick. I loved that thing.
Yeah, that thing was amazing.
Yep, you can make calls, you can tell the time, and you can bludgeon someone to death. All in one. Can't do that with a watch.
One of my friends had one of those things in high school. It was a lot of fun, and we finally we tried to break it for quite a while. We finally did by pouring soda on it.
Yeah, there's always going to be some kind of weakness.
Yeah.
Generally, like sand is quite effective at just destroying screens.
Oh man, but I guess maybe that's my problem. Is I'm thinking of the Apple Watch or whatever as a piece of technology when really I should be thinking of it as a piece of fashion. Like I've sort of accepted the fact that people are going to pay like $50 for a brand name T-shirt, so I might as well accept the fact that people are going to pay however many $100 for essentially just a wrist thing that tracks your vital signs.
Yeah, it's just a smartphone that you can't watch porn on. There you go. And with that,
and we're off the air. No,
was that the only topic you had for segment 1?
well, no, I was stupid technology. Yes, that was the only topic I had. But
okay.
we talked only about the Apple Watch, but I think there's plenty of other examples about.
I knew there was something else. That's why I was like, I thought you meant initially when you talk about. I thought you meant like robots, for example. Although they're getting smarter and smarter every day.
Yeah,
Not trying to sound like a conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, we're gonna laugh until like I don't know, Optimus Prime punches down our door and kicks us in the nuts. But
exactly.
I was more thinking of technology that I don't think has any.
Optimus Crime. Sorry, God.
God damn it. The whole reason that I thought of this topic was I was having a discussion with my parents, or my mother specifically, about this thing she saw advertised. It's called Portal, which is... It's essentially just... It's made by Facebook. It looks like either a tablet or an Xbox Kinect, depending on which version you get. And the only thing it does is call people. And it has like one of those smart cameras that will track you as you walk around the room. Like, it's a very elaborate conference calling device.
Wait, so it's a phone that can watch you?
Well, it's not a phone, though, because it doesn't have apps and... Well, I guess, yeah. No,
original definition.
Yeah,
of
exactly. Jesus, that's how...
Yeah,
it really pisses me off that I made that assumption. No,
like
so
a landline.
They make a tablet version that's sort of like a phone. They also make one like what the Xbox Kinect looks like, right? Little black bar sits below your TV.
Yeah.
They make a version like that has an HDMI cable that plugs into your TV, and it's just a very elaborate camera. Like, so in our office we have these smart cameras that are, if you're in a big conference room, they'll follow you around the room as you like, and they'll zoom in on whoever's talking or something like that.
Well,
So it's basically just a smart camera that makes calls. That's it. And it doesn't even make calls with its own service. You're using Zoom or Facebook Messenger or whatever other thing.
that's just like you bought an Apple iPad, right? You bought this iPad,
Yeah.
and you can only open the call app. So it's just the call app. That's it.
I've been thinking about why I thought this thing was stupid today, and I think that's it. It's a very, very niche device that does the same thing as like 10 other devices you probably already have.
Yeah, I mean, if it costs like £5 or
Oh,
like
no, it's $190.
$7, $190.
That's for the best one. There's also a $150 version and I think a $130 version.
Jesus, does it give you a hand job while you're taking a call? What the fuck? What's so expensive in that thing that like it's I'm different to a landline?
I'm pretty sure most of what you're paying for is the smart camera function. And even then, I think this thing could probably be sold for like less than $100, and they would still be making a profit.
All right, let's focus in on the smart camera bit for a second. Is that like the function they have on Zoom where it cuts out the background and puts you in the middle of the rainforest?
I think it's actually a hardware function. Like the camera can actually automatically zoom and refocus on you in the room. The one that you're talking about it's a software function.
Okay, so this will like scope in on one.
Yeah.
To put it. Yeah. Okay. What if you don't want it to scope in? I assume you can turn that off.
Yes, and it does actually have some interesting privacy features. Like it offers like encrypted calls. There's a physical disconnect for the camera, so it's not always on.
So it's got a built-in VPN kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like what you said earlier, where it's like it's another device. You have other devices that do this. You know, like it's an iPad that only has the call function, but it's a really good call function. That's essentially their selling point. I personally think they're just taking advantage of the pandemic to try and like sell the shit out of this thing to people who haven't seen each other in years. It's like, we can't see each other because we're afraid we'll get sick. Here, buy this $200 piece of crap.
I don't think there's a single like social program released in the last 5 years that hasn't had some kind of camera setting.
Yeah.
So, as far as I'm concerned, that is a completely obsolete invention. Like, there is nothing new that it brings to the table. Zooming in on someone's face, I mean,
to be fair, most like call programs, there's usually a setting where it'll do that.
Really? I didn't even know about that, but it's still pointless. Like, you can still see someone's face.
Yeah.
You just tell them to get closer to the bloody camera if you can't.
I can't see you. Ma, you're on the other side of the room.
You're facing the wrong way.
But that's the reason I'm bringing it up during this segment. Is it's like, it's cool. It's a cool gadget, but it's rendered pointless by like 10 other things.
I don't know. Perhaps there's more to it, and we don't have the full story.
I mean, there might be. It sounds like this might be something my parents are looking into getting as a gift for one of my other relatives.
Right. Just buy them an iPad.
Yeah.
I
don't know. We'll see. So I may be proven completely wrong, because the first thing I thought when I heard that it was being made by Facebook is like, okay, that's just going to spy on you and steal your data. But it does apparently offer private calling and encrypted calling, so maybe I might be wrong about it being completely pointless and it's got some other miraculous feature.
really regret the comment I made earlier about it now, considering it's something your parents were considering buying.
No, don't worry about it. I've already thoroughly made fun of this thing.
Okay, good.
Oh.
But yeah, okay, like old-fashioned technology that didn't really. It's not really a thing. Did you ever hear about is it a Lazy Susan I'm thinking of? Let me
Yeah,
just double check.
isn't it just like an armchair that has some extra bits?
Okay, no, it's not a Lazy Susan. I'm thinking of something. It was like a invention which was basically an alarm clock for the morning, which also made a cup of coffee. Uh, Hang on, I need to look this up now. Waffle for a sec.
Okay, so there's I think alarm clocks are one of the more elaborate pieces. I feel like I've seen a dozen different kinds of alarm clocks that do other things. Like, I had a friend in college, she had an alarm clock that, when it started ringing, had wheels on it, and it would drive off her desk and just run away from her, so she would be forced to get out of bed to respond to the damn thing. Like,
I mean, that's genius.
I mean, there are you can do a lot with alarm clocks. I've personally always, ever since I've had one, I've just used my phone. And before I had a phone, I didn't use an alarm clock. I mean, even now, I barely need one. I just kind of I usually wake up before it anyway.
Yeah, I can't actually find the exact definition, the old name for this. I mean, I typed in old-fashioned alarm clock coffee maker, and it seems like it's actually still a thing that's around about, and some of them look pretty cool. They look like small chemistry stations that go on your bedside table.
I mean, these days, I feel like what most people are... I think we're getting to the era of the quote-unquote smart house, where you're going to have something in your room is going to set off your alarm. No. Your phone is going to be synced up to your Alexa or Google Home or whatever the hell you have.
Yeah.
That thing, after it's finished watching you sleep, is going to, like, wake you up, and then it's going to, like, sync up to your smart coffee maker and make coffee, and then you're gonna roll out of
all
bed,
chatting with you.
Yeah, and as you're walking out into the room, it's gonna notice that you walked past, and it's gonna turn your lights on and everything. And it all sounds really cool until you realize this robot is building a profile on you, and the snipers are already taking aim.
Yeah. I mean, not even that. It wouldn't even have to. It would just have to fuck with your coffee.
Oh yeah.
And you wouldn't even know. But yes, try not to get too conspiracy.
I know I'm being hyperbolic. I don't actually think I should say, because we live in a post-sarcasm age. I was being sarcastic. I don't actually think the Alexa is going to have snipers trained on you.
Well, maybe not Alexa, but a couple of versions down the line. And I mean, okay, so obviously you're joking.
Yeah.
But theoretically, I mean, okay, if a computer system has full control of your house, then a hacker has full control of you.
That's one of the concerns they had when cars started becoming like more connected to everything, because a hacker could hack into a car and just be like, "Oh, you're going off the road now. Bye-bye."
With automated cars that don't require you to do any steering manually.
Right. And so, like, yes, it's one of those examples. I do think smart cars and like automatic cars are a big leap forward, and I think they're a good idea. But it's one of those examples where when you make a technological leap forward, you solve a bunch of problems, potentially a bunch of dangerous problems, but you create new ones.
Yeah.
So, like, for instance, when like you're solving the problems of maybe you won't have people drink driving, or you might not have people swerving off the road because they didn't sleep at all, or you might, like, people falling asleep at the wheel. You might not have people who are distracted on their phones and they crash into a baby in the street. Like, you don't maybe you don't have that, but now you have the problem where there's people like who can hack into your car, or maybe they didn't do a good patch and it doesn't sync up with the car's technology properly, and it goes haywire and crashes you into a bollard. Like,
yeah,
it's...
who do you blame for that kind of thing?
Well, it's the same thing. Like, who do you blame when somebody just gets distracted for a few seconds at like no fault of their own. They're doing everything they're supposed to. They're looking around, they're paying attention, but just at the corner of their eye, something goes wrong. I don't know. I think that it has to come down to it. Unless it was like if it was a hacker, then yeah, it's obviously that guy. But if it was just a glitch,
yeah,
it's the same
there'll
thing
be
as
a
if
whole new kind of law will have to be put down, new rules in law for the control of human life by electric means.
Yeah, like what if? I think in the case we're talking about, if there's a glitch with the self-driving cars, I think it's going to be the same thing as if you have like a faulty fuel tank in a car. It's going to go back to the manufacturer and be like, "Hey, you fucked up."
Yeah. Just okay. Yeah. Whatever.
Sorry, that got
grim. You know what
grim.
time it is, right?
Game time.
I just thought you had to be somewhere this time for some reason. Yeah, no.
Oh no, I have plans in like what time is it? It's 8. I have plans at 1:30. No, I've got. Plenty of time.
Cool. Sorry, it's 1:30 at my.
Yeah, it's 1:30
That's why I was
in
like,
the UK.
I can't believe a fuck. God, so smart. Oh, that totally threw me off.
I see your coffee maker, by the way.
Yes, sorry, that was the old fashioned. So it was called Tea Made or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tea's Made. And yeah, I don't know. I know a lot of people that have these kind of Alexas and things around their house, or Google, whatever it's called.
Google Home.
Home, that's the one. I don't think I'd ever have one, just because I'm not like one of the big plus points for it was that you could turn your lights on and off from afar, but I'm not that.
And you know what?
Physically unable.
It's the same thing as the there was like the clapper. There was a thing that they were. I remember these commercials when I was a kid. Like clap on, clap off. Essentially, it was just a audio sensor that you put in between the socket on the wall and another plug. And so if you had like a lamp, you just leave the lamp on and then clap, and that thing would cut off the power to it.
Right. That'd make thunderstorms pretty hilarious.
Well, yeah, that was the issue, of course, is that it would turn on and off like when dogs barked. It would it wasn't a super.
That'd be a massive waste of power if you go on holiday or something and like some noise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think, and the Alexa is kind of the same thing. It is cool, and I think it's an interesting gadget, but it's still kind of in its early stages. I know the friends of mine that have Alexas and Google Homes. They think it's really cool until their friends come over. Because, like, for instance, my friend Juan has like the smart light bulbs, or had them in his house. I don't know if he still does, but he had them in his old house. And whenever we'd come over, like he'd have us over where some people he's in the living room showing people, because he had just gotten a VR headset, and he's showing people that, and they're playing around with it. And his Alexa's in his kitchen, which is where the rest of us were. And so we see him go into the living room. We wait for a few seconds until he's in the middle of something, and just like, Alexa, lights to 0%. And it just turns all the lights in his living room off.
Jeez.
And then we were just like changing the level, like lights to 20%, lights to 100%, lights to 0%.
It's a cool thing, but it would cost a lot.
Yeah.
But maybe if you're super rich, you can afford to have it. But
that's one of the reasons that I think it's a great idea until your friends come over, because they're just going to fuck with you with it. I know I had a friend with a Google Home who he made it a policy to unplug it every time we came over, because we tried to get him put on a watch list by searching for a whole bunch of questionable materials.
Yeah, and also, I mean, okay, how many different percentages of light bulb do you need?
Well, that was the one cool thing.
Humanity has lived with 2 for centuries.
Well, yes, on or off. But even then, I mean, the lights in my place have dimmer switches. It's just a little slider on the side of the switch. Like, I can control how bright they are. But this is different. They're not dimmer bulbs. The bulbs themselves actually have that smart function to adjust the amount of power they're using. So the way dimmer bulbs normally work is the slider controls how much power the socket is giving the bulb. This is the bulb is controlling how much power it's drawing from the socket.
Okay, so it's actually saving a bit of energy then.
Yeah, if you tell the thing to, you know.
Okay, well that's better. I assumed it would be full power all the time, and
No, and it was just dimming it on. No, it's not like that.
Okay, well that's something. At least.
The light bulbs themselves are a cool piece of technology. I just think the Alexa's stupid.
He has no need for it.
Okay. Oh man. Well,
yeah, we've really hated on technology today.
We just talked. I just looked at the time. Yeah, we just talked for like 25 minutes just about that.
Yeah, I can see that we've like already gone over. I was kind of hoping we'd have one positive though, one positive piece of tech.
Well, I mean, the topic was stupid technology.
This is true.
No, we did have a positive at the end. The smart light bulbs are actually really cool.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. I mean, yeah, but then we immediately said that Alexa's stupid.
Well, you can control the light bulbs with an app on your phone. You don't need Alexa.
Or with your Apple smartwatch. Bam, full circle. Okay, now we can finish.
Oh my god. All right. This is the end of segment 1. Thank you for listening, and we'll be back in a minute with segment 2.
Ooh, voice-activated toasters.
Oh, shut the fuck up.